Okay, in this video we're going to talk about PowerExchange for Twitter. It's basically an add-on that you purchase from Informatica. What it does is it allows you to connect to Twitter to access different kind of tweets. You can pull by username in Twitter, or you can match a search criteria. So if you're just going after one person or one company, you could pull that data. Otherwise, you can actually search by hashtags. What's tricky here is Twitter's API only allows you to go back, for a certain amount of days. So you can't just go back in time or a year back and backfill. You got to be, once you start doing this, you got to be constantly pulling the data. Otherwise, it goes back 6 to 9 days, and you're going to lose out on different kind of data. And then the other part is it only works on Solaris or Windows Server. I don't know why there's not a Linux version of this, but so be aware of that. And then there's more information on dev.twitter.com about their API, the different limitations of it, and that kind of stuff. So we're first going to install the client so a designer can pull down, create a new source for Twitter. Then we're going to create a mapping that actually connects to Twitter and pulls that information and puts it into a table. Okay, we're going to go ahead and install the client portion of the PowerExchange for Twitter. When you receive the download links from Informatica, it'll be one zip file. When you unzip that file, you'll see 4 different zip files. One's the client, and the other 3 is for servers. They have Solaris, Windows 32-bit, and Windows 64-bit. I don't know why they don't have a Linux version of this. So if you have a Linux, if your Informatica server runs on Linux, you're kind of out of luck for right now. So what I did is I unzipped the client. I've had some trouble running that install.bat, so I'm going to go right to the client directory and double click on the install.exe. You can see the familiar install anywhere product that Informatica uses for all their tools. And this is going to allow in my designer tool, when I create a source, it'll show up as Twitter as one of the options. So welcome to PowerExchange for Twitter, the client installer. I go ahead and default to my Informatica 9.1 install. And do the install. This just takes a quick second. Done. Alright, now I'm going to bring up my designer tool. Go ahead and resize it here. There we go. I have a Windows repository here that I'm going to connect to. Folder called demo, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that Twitter is there. Create Twitter source. That is now there. Now you can add an entry or a user. In the next section, we're going to go over actually creating a new mapping that we pull from Twitter, some information from Twitter, and insert into a flat file or a table. Thanks for watching. We're going to go ahead and create our mapping to pull from Twitter. First thing we're going to do is go to sources, and we're going to create a Twitter source. There's 2 different options here. One is entry, the other one is user. So if I just wanted to pull a user information from Twitter, I would pick user. Otherwise, I'm going to pick entry, which means go search Twitter for hashtags or users or just keywords. So I'm going to call this Informatica Corp. So we're going to create a source. As you can see, this is the information that's going to come back from Twitter. ID created from user to user, so these are actually direct tweets from user to user, and different kind of the languages here as well. If you were to create a user type of Twitter source, you would see that there's different information coming back from a user. So username, location, more about the user and not about the actual tweets that are coming out. So we're going to create a target based upon these source table. It's going to be Oracle, and I've already created the database table. So we have our source and our target. Let's go create our mapping. We'll call it Twitter Twist. We'll add our source and our target. We'll add all of our columns here. So it's just simply going to go to Twitter. It's going to pull a hashtag, for actually the hashtag Informatica Corp. We're going to be pulling that information out of Twitter. So we have our mappy built. As you notice, that I don't put that information here yet. This is just a basic Twitter source based upon an entry that's going to go into a table. And the session is where I put in the parameters. So I'm going to go create a quick workflow here. That's the wrong one. Twitter test. And let's create a session. Based upon my mapping. And we'll draw a line in here, save that. And when you install the Twitter client, it actually goes and creates a new connection as part of the application part. And when you install the server. So there's something called Twitter Social Media Connection under Application Connection. And so if you go into your session, you can see now it's going to have the Twitter Social Media Connection. And there's two different kind of readers. One's a search, the other one's a user profile. That's what I was talking about when you create a source. So we're actually using the search. So we're going to go pick our Twitter Social Media Connection under Application. And this is where it's actually asking for the query string. That's where we're going to search for hash Informatica Corp. And I have a target of an Oracle database that defaulted to my dev instance. And so that's it. I'm going to run this, and we'll see if it runs for the first time. There's my previous run. Okay, so there's 9 columns that came back. So we'll go ahead and look in our database. There's our 9 columns. So these within the last 6 to 9 days, these are everything that has Informatica Corp as a hashtag in the entry in the tweet. So as you can see, Informatica Corp. Informatica Corp. So that's it. And here's the information. This is when it was created. Here's the from user and the to user. It's blank, which means it wasn't a direct tweet to somebody else. Here's the different languages that Twitter puts on here. And that's it. That's how simple it is to connect to Twitter with this PowerExchange for Twitter connector, and to dump it into a flat file or a database, whatever you would like.